Welcome back, Jammer fans. You're tuned into another episode of the B Camp Sports Jam, sponsored by Good Samaritans Medical Transport, LLC. Good Samaritans Medical Transport, service that exceeds expectations. This show is so great. It's just like every other show, but the Super Bowl's here. It's Super Bowl weekend, and we're doing a special Super Bowl preview show today. And we're going to get into that later in the show. We're going to start first with some local news, local information. We're going to talk Maryland. We're going to talk Caps and go over some stuff. First thing I want to talk about is Wednesday was National Signing Day for all high schoolers going into Division I programs and their respective programs that they signed with. And I want to go over some of the stuff that University of Maryland got for their 2016 recruits. They had 23 total commits for this year's class, 2 in the ESPN Top 300. They had 4 4-star recruits and 13 3-star recruits. Now, this was the 42nd overall ranked recruiting class for Division I college programs. And, I'm pleased with that, considering we just got a brand new coach. The program's switching from Edsel to Durkin. So we're kind of in this transition period, but we still happen to pull in a respectable recruiting class for Maryland and for the success we had last year, which was very mediocre. Minimal success last year, season that we kind of want to forget, looking to rebound, new coach, kind of new staff going, got these new commits. And specifically, we had 2 Gatorade Player of the Year commits, one from the state of Maryland and one from the state of Alabama. Jake Funk, Damascus High School here in Maryland, and then Ty Pegram, playmaking quarterback in Alabama. So there's a lot to look forward to right now for this Maryland program with all that's going on, and I know they're up against Michigan team that had a good recruiting class and also an Ohio State team that had a good recruiting class. But who do you like in this recruiting class? What is your top acquisition that we got, top commit? Who do you like, Stevie?
Okay, I like the offensive guard, Richard Merritt. He's local. He's from D.C., 6'4", 338 pounds. My man's a beast. He's going to be pushing people around. He's probably the one I'm most excited about. I'm not going to say I'm disappointed in our recruiting class because, we have a new staff all around pretty much. And while Durkin didn't get to recruit as much as he'd like to, I would think, being the new coach or whatnot, I think that we could have done better. We had some big guys, change their minds after they, made verbal commits to us. But in the end,
no names will be mentioned. No names mentioned.
No names mentioned. But I think Merritt. I think he's going to have a huge impact for us next year.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Maryland constantly and routinely produces top offensive linemen into the NFL. It's kind of like we're all offensive lineman university, so it's great that we're getting more size to really help our run game. I really like this guy out of Alabama, Ty Pegram. I think he's the spark that we need to really be able to contend with high programs, and he really takes care of the football. Let me give you some of the stats. His senior year in Alabama, 178 for 274 passing attempts, 3,080 yards, 44 touchdowns, and only 4 interceptions. Last year Maryland led the NCAA in turnovers. Whether it was fumbles, whether it was picks, it was everything. Everything you could possibly imagine, Maryland did it. And so I really like that stat that this kid, is either smart with the ball where he'll either use his legs instead of forcing it, or he just makes the right decisions. We also had about 1,350 yards rushing and 18 touchdowns. So, this kid can really get it done in a lot of ways. And the thing I like the most is that it looks like he takes care of the football. And whether or not he's going to be our starting quarterback, I'm not sure. They're going to have to battle that out and find out. But I'm excited to see what he brings to the table for this University of Maryland program. So that's good stuff. Let's move on to the basketball team. Playing great. Number 3 right now in the nation coaches poll, number 4 in the AP, and have jumped to number 5 in the latest RPI rankings. Current record of 20-3, 9-2 in conference. Just beat Nebraska at Nebraska on Wednesday night. This team has a great record and they're loaded, but I was really disappointed with their performance against Nebraska, and it kind of seems to be the same thing. Their talent seems to get them through a lot of tight games, which is great, but once you get on the national stage, I'm looking down the road a little bit. Maybe I shouldn't be, but we're gonna make the dance. We're gonna be there.
Right.
We need to start really playing in a manner that is conducive to going deep in the tournament. And turning the ball over 12 or 13 times in the first half versus Nebraska is not conducive to making a nice tournament run. If anything, it's conducive to an upset. This is how you lose basketball games to teams who aren't as worthy. You turn the ball over and you don't rebound. If this team can't stop doing that, I think they're going to lose in the round of 32. I think they'll be out in the second round of the NCAA tournament simply because some other team will be doing they'll do the little things and they'll hang around in games. I know we tend to hit big shots, which is great, but you can't do it all the time. And sometimes it's not your day. And if you give these lesser teams a chance to win, hey, anything could happen. We've seen crazy things happen in the NCAA tournament. And so I don't know how you feel about it, Stevie, but I'm a little bit nervous. I'm a little bit nervous. I know our record is what it is, 20-3, solid. We're up here high, but I'm just a little bit worried about this squad. And until they can show me that they can do the little things, defensively rebound, and also take care of the basketball, until I see them do those little things, I'm lacking confidence in their ability to actually be the number 4 team in the nation or number 3 team, depending on what poll you want to use. I just don't like it. What do you think? How do you feel?
I agree with you. I think we need to get our defensive rebounding up as well as take care of the basketball. I think I'm not going to say I'm nervous. I'm not scared. I think that we need the killer instinct, and we don't have that yet. But I think when the tournament rolls around, I think that we're gonna be ready for it, and we're gonna know that this is it. One and done. We're gonna be ready. We're not playing, with that killer instinct yet, but we're winning games and we're making it through. We're not losing games that we should be winning. All of our losses were Michigan played well, but Michigan State and UNC they're both solid squads and away. So
fair enough. All on the road, all losses on the road.
I think that we're okay. Am I happy? No. Am I worried? No. So
all right, maybe
I think we're okay.
I would like to see us handle a team like Nebraska. No offense to that program, but I would like to see us handle that differently and not be so flustered by a team that kind of is significantly lower than us. And teams do have bad games, and Nebraska has been playing good basketball since then. And I'm not pinning all this on Nebraska. Maryland's done this against other teams. So Nebraska is the most recent example that we really have to go on. And credit Nebraska, they've been playing better basketball. But still, you need to be able to take control and settle down, especially on the road. And it's hard to win college basketball games on the road, but you got to find ways to settle down. With one of the top point guards in the nation, there's no reason we should have as many turnovers as we do. It's kind of confusing, and it's a little nerve-wracking. We'll readdress this at another time in a couple weeks. We'll see if the turnover margin has gone down and what our rebounding margin has done. But right now, 20-3. Keep up the good work, Terps. But man, I'd like to see you guys take control a little bit more. It'd be nice. Okay. Why don't we jump to our first break? We'll be back. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit of Caps and a little bit of the Pro Bowl. Don't go anywhere. We're back, Jammer fans. Brad Cameron here with Steven Berkheimer. Moving on to our next segment. We want to talk about the Cats. We want to talk about the Pro Bowl also. Our next segment is brought to you by the Silver Spring Social Sports. This is a 21 and up league. They're active in volleyball, basketball, football, soccer. Come on out. join the league. You can sign up online at silverstreamsocialsports.com. It's a great time. Come out and play. Let's talk next about the Caps. Right now, current record, 36-9-4, 77 points overall. Just got through the All-Star break. First place in the East, first place in the Metro, first place overall. How is this team, give me an update. How's this team looking?
I think we look great. Holtby's playing outstanding, and you think he's maybe going to fall off a little bit, but he doesn't. We're playing team hockey. Everybody's getting involved. I'm really excited. I don't want to get too excited, but we're playing really well at home. We're playing almost as well away, so I don't see us slowing down, and I'm pretty pumped.
Can you see this? Look at this. I'm excited. I am ready to say I'm very excited, and I do think this team can make a very deep run. You look at our highest point scorer, Kuznetsov. He's on our third line. He's on our third line, and he's our highest point scorer. I mean, you got Ovi and you got Backstrom ahead of him. We're loaded. And Holtby, as long as he keeps playing like he's playing, I am really starting to get excited about some stuff later on down the line towards the end of the season. I don't want to say anything, but man, this team looks good. And one other thing I want to talk about is Ovi missing the All-Star game.
Right.
He didn't play the All-Star game. Yeah, there's some discrepancy about it. I don't mind that he missed it. Apparently had a lower leg injury, lower body injury. Who cares? Who cares? I don't care that he missed the All-Star game. So what? I obviously the fans want to see him play, but as a DC fan, if he's hurt, I don't want him playing. I'm happy he missed the game. Get healthy. We need you. And there's a quote. I don't have it right here in front of me, but it went something along the lines of this. He said, "Look, I need to get healthy. We have bigger things that we need to look forward to than just the All-Star game." And I love that. I was like, yes, that's the leadership that we need out of our captain. Knowing what's at stake, knowing what's on the line, knowing what this team is capable of. I like the fact that he is not looking ahead, but knows to be ready for what's ahead. I loved it.
I agree, 100%.
Okay. Yeah, because I know some people were hating on him for not playing, and whatever.
They must not be Cavs fans.
Go away.
Right.
Go away. I'm gonna throw this in there. You weren't ready for this. This isn't in the prompt, so you're not ready for this.
Right.
Let's talk Wizards for 1 second.
Okay.
Their last game was against the Warriors. I mean, is this kid on planet Earth? What level is this kid on?
I don't know.
Steph Curry
I don't know. 25 points in the first quarter. I can't even explain it. He's
that performance. Watching that game, it's unreal. It's unreal. This kid, I don't even know if he gets in the zone. I think he just wakes up and he's in the zone. He doesn't need to get in the zone. He just wakes up like this. What a beast. I mean, I want the Wiz to win. He kind of dogged our team, but credit to Steph Curry what he's made his career into after not being taken highly in college. Went to Davidson College. Not that that's not a great program and university. It is, but possibly has sights set higher than that. Maybe didn't go as high as he had thought in the draft, but still went high, top 10 pick to Golden State, and has always kind of been discredited and maybe shunned for his size. But awesome work he's done in his career and in his life with getting where he's at and really taking over the league in a sense. I mean, it's almost Jordan-esque the way he is changing the game. His airness brought a level of basketball above the rim, changed the game, started playing above the rim routinely, every night, doing something special in the air. Curry is almost changing the game behind the arc. We've seen other players like this, like Reggie Miller, who can just flat out stroke it, like Ray Allen. They change the game in a sense, but I think he's taking it to another level, changing the game in another level. It is kind of Jordan-esque, and take that however you will, Jammer fans. I'm not going there, but I just went there a little bit. All right, next, let's talk about the Pro Bowl.
Okay.
I want to recap this and talk about some All-Star games, and I don't know, the relevance of these things. You know, the Pro Bowl, 49-27, Michael Irving's team won versus Jerry Rice. And, you know, what do you see here in the Pro Bowl game? Is this worth anything? What's the point?
I don't see a point, honestly. People have been arguing about getting rid of it for years now. I don't see a point. You know, nobody's playing defense because nobody wants to hurt anybody. And
Obviously, this is the tackle.
right.
Yeah.
No. Right. But I don't. I mean, maybe the trip to Hawaii is nice. Maybe the incentive in the contract. But other than that, for the fans, I don't. It's not exciting to watch, in my opinion. I'm not like, oh man, the Pro Bowl's this week. You know, I'm like, oh man, the Super Bowl's in 2 weeks. You know.
Yeah.
So
No, you're right.
I don't get excited about it, and I don't see a point in it.
I agree with you, but I think you're absolutely right, and I do agree with you. But I think people need to stop ragging on these players for kind of dogging it, and you know, for kind of just going through the motions. They don't want to get hurt. Football is a contact sport. It's unlike a lot of other all-star games. You know, hockey being also very, very physical. You know, baseball. You know, the all-star game is not. There's not a lot of contact in baseball. Like these guys, it's their off season. You know, they're not playing in the Super Bowl. It's their off season. They don't want to get hurt. You know, it's an exhibition game. It's not worth anything. Like they don't get any kind of special money unless they have some kind of contract incentive that says, you know, if you go to the Pro Bowl, you get this. So that's nice. But that can be solved by just getting voted as like some kind of Pro Bowl All-Star, and there doesn't necessarily have to be a game. I mean, I'm fine with the game. And personally, I liked it. I liked the fact that they kind of just sit back and they can relax and look back on their season and be like, oh, let's just have some fun. You know, the season's over. We made it. You know, we go deep. I like it. I like the fact that they're just kind of out there having fun, playing like street, you know, backyard type football, and they're just out there slinging it. Now, sure, for the fans who are paying money for tickets, they're going to be a little upset because they maybe want to see some kind of Sean Taylor hit on the punter. But that's not necessary in this. Like, you know, I guess in Hawaii, they really can't go to many professional sporting games. But still, yeah, I think it's fine that they kind of dog it and that they kind of just go through the motions and, you know, seeing them out there kind of just slinging it, just, you know, point and go deep, and they're just taking shots all day. Like, it's kind of fun. But I don't see, you know, any point to get hurt. I don't see why some people want them to amp up and play a full contact football game. I don't see any sense in that. That makes zero sense to me.
No sense.
But let's talk about some of the other All-Star games. You look at baseball. I just brought that up. Look at the All-Star game in MLB. Whichever, you know, AL or NL, whichever team wins that gets to the bench. Like, right. There is incentive to actually play hard. Now, granted, the risk of injury, baseball versus football, if you're playing hard, is not that close. Not that baseball players aren't tough, but like there's just way more contact in football. Put simply, you know, you look at hockey now. The way the NHL has changed up the All-Star game, the winners get money. It's an incentive. Play hard, you win money. You know, that I don't know if the NFL can do anything like that. You know, and the NBA, there's no incentive, and they just kind of dog it too. You know, they're out there throwing alley-oops, which is fun. You know, it's like the NFL taking shots deep. You know, I like when they're just kind of having fun, and they're just like naturally athletic and out there having fun, and it's like, you know, look at how just raw these guys are, just having fun, you know, just running around like athletes. You know, so I do like the NBA All-Star game as well for the highlights. You know, it's, you know, not for like the basketball, but just for like the highlights of them kind of having fun. You know, what could the NFL possibly do to like make the Pro Bowl worth something? I don't see how. You know, this is why they're not going hard. There's no incentive, and I'm perfectly fine with that. And if they got rid of it and there was just like an all-star type of voting, and if you made this all-star voting, you got whatever incentive was in your contract for the NFL, like I'd be fine with that as well. So I'm fine with keeping the Pro Bowl because I like watching them kind of dog it. For people who want to get rid of it because they're not trying, give them a reason to try. You know, outside of just natural competition, you know, give them a reason to try. I don't know how you can.
I don't either.
I simply don't know how you can. Okay. I mean, that's about it. That's about it for all you talk about for the All-Star game. Well, we're going to jump to our next break. When we come back, we're going to talk Super Bowl. Don't go anywhere, Jam fans. We'll be right back. Welcome back, Jammer fans. Brad and Steve here again, tuned into the BCAM Sports Jam. Let's move on to the next topic, what everyone's waiting for, Super Bowl. We got Carolina, we got Denver, and San Francisco. This is going to be quite the shootout. 2 overall number 1 seeds playing against each other. This is going to be fun. I mean, it's going to be a lot of fun. I've seen the spread so far of this game. It's at around 5.5. It's been jumping between 6.5 to 5.5, but Carolina favored. Denver getting 5.5 points. Probably about what you expected. Maybe came out a little high with the spread there, but Carolina's looked really good. So let's break down some of these teams. Let's talk Denver first.
Okay.
Obviously, lots of pressure on Peyton Manning.
You think so?
I can feel it myself.
Oh, no.
Lots of pressure on Peyton Manning to perform. He's been in the media just as much as Cam Newton has, as kind of the face. I haven't seen many Denver defensive players really in the media. They're all over Peyton. I mean, Cameron's constantly in his face, and there's a lot of pressure on him. As a veteran, as a QB and leader of this team, obviously, pressure makes sense. How do you think Peyton's going to perform against this defense?
I think he's going to do well.
Yeah?
The Panthers secondary is somewhat suspect, and in disagreement with you, I don't think he feels any pressure at all. I don't think he feels any pressure at all. There's nothing to lose. I don't think he expected to be here. He's given all the credit to the defense as to why that's the reason that they are here. So I don't think he's feeling the pressure. I think that he knows that he needs to take care of the football, and if he takes care of the football, the defense will bail him out just enough times, and then he'll get his W.
Okay. Well, I do think he's going to struggle.
Okay.
Because I think the pass rush is going to be on him, and I think they're really going to test his mobility. They're going to force him to step up and make throws, and I do think it's going to be tough. I think there is a lot of pressure on him because he doesn't want to let down his defense. Because he doesn't want to be the reason for this top defense to not win a Super Bowl. He's going to have to make sure that they stay off the field. Because Carolina will wear you down. Jonathan Stewart leading the postseason right now in rushing, and Cam Newton is a bully. He'll hit you too. And so I think there is a lot of pressure on Peyton in terms of the way this game plays out. If he doesn't perform, then that defense is going to be on the field a lot more than they want, and I think that will end up costing them if Peyton doesn't perform as well as he can. Lowest passer rating in the regular season in the NFL, 67.9% passer rating. And I know he's been better in the postseason. He's, I think, 81, up to 81 passer rating, but still not maybe up to his standard, but getting closer. So maybe this is the game where he kind of flushes it all out and says, hey, look, I'm Peyton, and this is the biggest stage, and I've been here before. Let's go out and take care of business. Very well could happen, but I still say pressure on Peyton. Let's jump to the other side then. What kind of pressure is on Cam?
I think there's a lot more pressure on Cam.
Okay.
Peyton's been there before. He has experience. Cam on the other end, no. But I think Cam eats the spotlight up, and I think he loves it. And I love watching him eat it up.
Yeah.
And it's awesome. So do I think there's a little bit more pressure than what he usually feels? Yes, but I think that he was born with it. He's ready to go. He's going to show up, and I think he's going to enjoy himself.
Understandably, 70% completion percentage in the postseason against Seattle's defense, who I think was third overall defense, and Carolina, Cards, who had the 7th overall defense. This dude's got a 70% completion percentage against two of the toughest secondaries, 496 total yards, about 10 yards per attempt is what he's averaging, which also leads the postseason 3 touchdowns and only 1 pick passing so far for Cam. 113 passer rating. Beasting out. I don't think he knows what pressure is. I just don't. I don't think he knows what pressure is. I mean, absolutely incredible performance so far by this young kid. And on the other side, talking Peyton again, 55% completion percentage. And I know he had a lot of drops in the game against Pittsburgh. He threw a lot of good balls. There's a lot of drops. They were able to win that football game. But still, the numbers are what they are. 398 total yards, so pretty close. But only 5.7 yards per attempt. So Cam's got an extra 5 yards per attempt on his completions. So Peyton, maybe not able to throw the ball down the field as well as he used to do, and I'm sure some of this is play calling where maybe they do want to try and hit underneath type stuff.
Absolutely.
But 2 touchdowns, no picks. So far, he's righted that ship, whereas he struggled in the regular season with interceptions. Postseason, settled down, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. But playing against Pittsburgh, whose secondary isn't great, but was coming along towards the end of the season, started playing better defensively. And then the Patriots, who always seem to be good no matter what. So pretty impressive. I would round that out with. Cam averaging 250 yards through the air per game. Peyton only 200. So very, very comparable figures on that one. But now defensively, how is Denver going to stop the man?
Well, they had the number 1 rush defense. They had number 1 rush defense in the league in the regular season, giving up 80, 84, 85 yards a game. And in the playoffs, they stepped up even more, giving up 64 yards a game. So I think, with their defense, they're going to make Cam pass the ball. And granted that the Carolina has decent receivers, they're not the best. And maybe they're nervous. Maybe they're going to drop some that they should catch. Yeah. Well, he's been doing that all season. But no, I think that they're going to force him. They won't be able to, pound it on the ground. And I think that they're going to lose the game through the air because Cam doesn't have enough weapons.
Au contraire, my friend. Number 1 in the postseason, Carolina rushing, 296 total yards, only 3.8 yards per attempt, but that's kind of brought down by Tolbert and by Cam. Jonathan Stewart, in particular, averaging 5 yards per run. I mean, he's having a great postseason. 189 total yards so far in the postseason. No fumbles, 2 touchdowns. He's taking care of the football. He's running like a beast. Total Carolina rushing, 5 touchdowns, only 1 fumble. I think it was by Tolbert. So Cam hasn't fumbled. Jonathan Stewart hasn't fumbled. The yards per attempt is a little bit skewed because they've had a couple other rushes. But if you look at it, Stewart's getting the majority of touches. He's averaging 5 yards per attempt. I mean, this is gonna be fun to see. The type of beat you up type football that Carolina does like to play, going up against, like you said, top rush defense.
That's rush defense.
Going up against these guys, this is going to be it. Like, this is going to be it. And you look at also the receivers outside of Greg Olsen, it's question marks for a lot of these guys. You got Cotry, Philly Brown, you got Ted Ginn, Devin Funchess. All these guys are great NFL players, but are they the target that, like, when you need 3rd and 8, it's like, all right, run this crisp out, it'll be there. I don't know. Like, I don't know if you can count on these guys. Like, that's going to be something. But the matchups almost play in their favor because they have so much speed. They have so much speed, and Denver's a little bit more physical. If Carolina can get 1 or 2 big plays, Ted Ginn can get loose, and if he can catch it with his knees or his elbows or whatever he's got to use to catch the ball, it could really change some things. So tell me, what do you got? Who's winning?
I have the Broncos.
24-23.
Close game. Obviously, they cover the spread. I think they win straight up. It's what I predicted for the past 4 weeks or so. So I think Peyton leaves on his high horse in his last rodeo and lassos that championship.
You obviously don't know anything because it's going to be Carolina. Carolina's going to get this win. 28-17 is what I got. I just think Carolina's defense is going to nullify. I mean, Denver has virtually no rush offense. I don't see them run the ball effectively at all against Kuechly, against Davis, against this defense from Carolina. And Norman and Coleman, I think they are going to handle Peyton Manning. I just think Peyton Manning doesn't have the ability to really make throws down the field. I think they'll get their little 5-yard completions. I don't think that's going to be enough. I think they're going to need something a little bit more than that. And I know Kuechly can guard Owen Daniels, who the Patriots struggled guarding. He had a great game against New England. I think Kuechly is okay. He's fast. He's okay with running up and down the field, up and down the seam against Owen Daniels. I think they're going to take away virtually everything for Peyton Manning, and they're not going to be able to run the football. I got Carolina 28-17.
Okay.
So take it to the bank, Jaren fans. Take it to the bank.
Don't listen to this guy.
Carolina versus Denver. Tune in Sunday at 6:30. NFL Super Bowl. The game. It's on. Don't miss it. And don't miss the commercials. Who's going to have the funniest commercials, Stevie?
I don't know. I'm actually excited.
Okay.
I'm actually pretty excited.
I'll take Doritos.
Doritos. Yeah, those are always really fun. So I can't give you maybe Sonic.
Okay.
The Sonic has them. Those are usually
those
really
guys are good. Those
Okay.
guys are good. Okay. All right. Last announcement. Next week, don't miss next week's episode, Jaren fans. We have a special guest, one of the assistant coaches from the University of Maryland women's basketball team, Miss Audrey Cunningham. She's going to be with us in studio. We're going to talk about the women Terps and talk about what they're looking for later down the line in the program and what's going on right now with the women's basketball team. So really, really excited about that one. We're so thankful she's coming on the show. Don't miss it next week. Well, I guess that's all we have for you today.
Yeah.
Go Panthers.
Go Broncos.
As always, thanks for jamming with us, Aaron fans. We'll see you guys.